Hello and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, and games, and whatever. I'm Jordan. With me is Luke. How you doing, Luke?
Doing well. I'm here. I'm here to unbox all that stuff.
Yeah, just like that Pepsi box behind you. Completely unboxed, wooden, exposed.
That is a crate.
I
It's
apologize.
back when people used wood instead of cardboard for everything.
When did they start cardboard?
Right about the time we were born.
Okay,
I
all
don't know.
right, yep.
I have no idea.
Didn't exist before us. We can be assured of that. Nothing
Anything
did.
that's good and help the world, it started right about the time we started.
Yo, or anything for that matter. I mean, nothing maybe existed before we were born. Who knows?
Not when we were born, when we started. Whatever that
Oh,
means.
okay. When we
I
started.
don't know what I'm talking about.
When did you press start on this video game? I don't know. We're getting into simulation theory or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Simulation theory?
I have my friend here, Elon. He's going to come in and discuss it with us.
Hi guys. So with the simulation theory,
He'd do a lot more stuttering than that.
I think so. Yeah, it's crazy how someone so rich and smart can, stutter so much.
I've heard that it can be a sign of intelligence.
Really?
I've heard that somewhere. It's like the brilliant stutter or something. They had some silly nickname for it, but I don't know if I buy it. I just thought it was interesting. I've thought about that.
Brilliant
Not many
people
times.
come in many shapes and sizes and
Yep, abilities to
dialects
speak.
and abilities to speak. Thank you. Speaking of which, how's your week been? Did you have a good weekend?
Yep.
Good.
Got our good buddy Jason coming down
Ooh.
Thursday. Get to see him.
When's he leave? When's he go back?
Sunday.
Okay, shoot.
Get here Thursday, come back Sunday. So
man, I'm not gonna have much time to see him.
excited to see him.
Yeah, you give him a big old bear hug from his Uncle
I always
Jordan.
do.
Thank you.
His
Appreciate
Uncle
that.
Jordan.
Yeah.
He's freaking older than you.
Well, it can work like
He's
that
like
sometimes.
4 years older than you.
You know that can happen where your like uncle is like younger or whatever, right?
That would be a weird situation.
You ever seen the movie You Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan?
They travel through time.
No, there's no time travel.
Oh, the mail travels through time.
No,
That's
there's
right.
no time travel at all. It's
What am I thinking of?
it's the early internet.
The lake house? Is that what it is?
I think it's the lake house. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Where the
Got Mail.
travels through time in the mailbox.
It's
That's what I'm thinking of.
that opening where like
Another rom-com.
they're talking about how good email is with AOL. You've got mail. That.
Yeah, I remember the movie, but I remember pretty much nothing about the plot line.
Well, know this. Tom Hanks has an uncle who's like much younger than him. And it's a joke.
So his sister is a lot older than him and had her son at a young age?
I guess so. I guess that would have to be yeah.
I know my dad is a lot older than his like two sisters. His brother too. Yeah, he's a lot. I think it's my dad, his sister, then his brother, then his other sister, and like, yeah, I think there's like 7 years between each of them.
Jeez.
It's like a long time. Like I think there's like over 20 years between them. I guess that would be the only way you could have that happen.
You can figure it out. You can make it work.
Figure it out.
I mean,
This is what we're trying to accomplish.
right. I mean, like Luke and Andrew and our friend Andrew and Joseph, like they're really close to this sort of thing happening. I mean, they are older, but not by much than their nephews and nieces.
Yeah.
They have a similar thing going on.
Boys are weird.
It's not as much of an extreme example as the situation in You've Got Mail, but I kind of want to watch that movie. Yeah.
Do you?
I don't know.
I don't know if you would after you started it.
I think like the idea of You Got Mail, it's like one of the most 90s thing I can possibly think of. Like something where it's like, wow, how cool, the internet. You know what I mean? Like American Online. Wow.
Yep. Oh yeah. AOL was the thing then.
it's basically just a remake of Shop Around the Corner, the one with Jimmy Stewart or whatever. It's really, it is. I think it's just a remake of that movie.
Yeah.
But they add the internet.
Isn't almost everything just a remake, though?
I guess so. What have you been watching / playing, Luke? / listening to?
Oh, shoot. Listening to. Why don't you go? You
All
haven't
right.
gone first in
yeah,
this
I think because
category.
I keep forgetting, and I just pitch you first. I don't know. Nothing crazy. I listened to a new band that my wife introduced me to called the National Parks. Kind of a guy and girl folk group.
Yep.
My wife loves the folk, man, and they're good. I do enjoy them. Very pleasant to hear. Very pleasant to listen to. Checked out the album "A Mix for the End of the World" Part 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've listened to them.
Yeah,
They're good.
They're good. Good stuff.
This is a band I had recommended to you and our listeners a while back, but I'm gonna say again, like, go listen to The Strike. These guys are really good.
They are really good.
And individually, this one song, "Nothing New," it is just, it kicks on all cylinders. So yeah, definitely listen to that song. Be a good place to start off to like get your feel of what The Strike's all about and see if you like them. They're very like upbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Upbeat, like I said, that one thing said like soda rock. I don't know. It's kind of hard to find. It's somewhere between like a modern, adult rock with like a 80s synthesizer rock.
Adult rock.
There's a lot of these bands. I mean, we've talked about this before. I wish I knew the exact category, but
anytime I hear the word like adult before any like genre, which is used all the time, adult contemporary, adult rock is a thing.
I guess alt rock would be more
alt rock, yeah,
closer.
I always think of like, what are they singing about? They're singing about like bills and filing taxes and worrying about your health insurance.
Hurts down my back. I need a new mattress.
I can really relate to this. Oh my god.
Gotta trim the yard.
It's like you went to. I wonder if there's going to be a certain point where we do get so old where we stop relating to things like driving all night through the California sunset with you and me.
I hate to break it to you, Jordan. I think that time has come.
The time has certainly come. But
I think it's definitely come.
But when are we gonna stop like enjoying the? I can't relate to this. When are you gonna?
I don't think we can relate to it, but it's like, that's awesome.
Yeah, it still feels cool to listen to.
At some point,
yeah,
like, that's stupid. Stupid kids talking about stupid stuff. Yeah, well, that's the next stage. Right now, we're at the. I can't relate, but that's really awesome.
Right, that sounds really freaking cool.
Never gonna do that.
Driving all night through the California sunset just to sit on the beach until the next one. I don't know.
Exactly, some yellow card stuff.
Right. Young rock. I don't know.
Go listen to The Strike.
Yeah, Strike. The Strike.
Your turn. You should go.
I guess so.
I went first time.
Right.
Last week.
A couple things here and there. I didn't write it down. I hate when I just don't write it down, but I got a pretty general idea, I guess, of what I've been watching / playing. So number one show on Netflix of all time. Most views on Netflix. Netflix, like almost $1 billion property right now. Came out of nowhere.
The
game of all games. Squid Games. I started it. I'll talk about it more when I finish it, but I started it. 2 episodes in. It's a 9-episode series or a 9-episode season. I can only imagine Netflix is like hounding these creators to make another season if there isn't one in store already. Yeah, I mean, so far it's good. I enjoy it.
I think IGN had something where they said that the creators said it would not be about the participants in Squid Game if they did do another season.
Okay.
I haven't watched it, but yeah, thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's good for sure. I can see the quality. I'm almost surprised in a way, like I've seen a lot of stuff like this in the past, and No, I
Well,
mean,
nothing like this. I mean,
nothing
just
exactly.
popularity wise, it's like insane.
Right.
Nothing even touched it. It's crazy.
It's like I'm not doing the thing where it's like where I'm like it's not that good. I'm not doing that, but I am just kind of surprised this is the one that kind of caught fire. It is really good. Like it is, obviously. Like the acting's good, the writing is good, the visuals are good. It's all good. It's going at
Yeah.
all cylinders. I'm watching it. I'm like, this is good. This is, it's a lot more
Complete voiceover, right?
well, yeah. I'm watching the subtitled. I with anime, I do dubbed whenever I can, like English dub all the way because like it doesn't matter. It's ADR regardless of whether it's Japanese or English. But so it kind of blends with the rest kind of the same. But with like live action stuff, I've usually strayed away from dubbed just because it sounds a little bit more disembodied usually, and I'm just like very aware of it when I'm watching. Like I haven't watched a live action dub in a while, but I've heard this one's really good. Like crazy, like people at work talking about this thing, and I'm like, you're watching it? Like I'm like having those kind of reactions, but they're like, yeah, the dub, it's really good, it's great. And I'm like, okay, great. So if depending on how much I like the show, I might just check out the dub just to kind of see how it is and just to look at because they work really hard. These voice actors do a lot to bring this to life, and so
yeah,
I don't know, but either way, I'm ooh, look at that little goodie here.
That's just a note for later.
Okay, cool. I'm definitely looking forward to finishing it and going through it. It's not as I mean, maybe I just need to get into it more. It's a lot more of a drama than anything. Like I don't really know how I'd categorize it. It's like almost like a sci-fi drama kind of thing. I wouldn't say it's horror. Like if you're looking at like Halloween or something like that, and you're like, oh, let's add to this mix. I wouldn't really put that in this that category like kind of at all. Maybe a thriller at times, but it's like when it's not like whenever the games aren't happening, it's more about just like the drama and everything going on. And when the games are happening, it's kind of just more like intense, I guess, more like a thriller kind of situation,
right?
But I'll come back when I finish the thing. We're definitely gonna finish it. We're watching it, and we're both my wife and I are enjoying it. Almost done with Metroid Dread. I probably have like a couple hours left, and as I said last week, my opinion isn't gonna change. I don't think. It's freaking tastic. What else am I doing here? Okay, Sora was released in Super Smash Brothers. This is just I spent last night just playing with him. I'm like, I'm gonna get good with him. I don't care. How like well I take to this character. I'm getting good at Sora. I'm not gonna be the best, of course. It's ridiculous. There's people who are gonna spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours that I can't.
The best in the world.
Yeah, no freaking way. Just to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good with him. I'm probably the best of with him, as opposed from all the other characters that I'm good at. But yeah, it's just so awesome, man. It's like I've been like seeing all these videos.
It's just a little like download that just like updates the character list.
Yeah, it's cool. I actually videoed the whole thing that happened. So every time I'll just show you the video I took on my phone. Every time this happens, it's the same kind of situation. Oh, let me when you boot up the game, you can't see that at all, can you? No, it's just a bright screen.
Bring it closer to the camera.
Oh, I will. Yeah, just bright.
It's trying.
Too bright.
It's trying to focus.
Yeah, whenever you boot up when you boot it up, like the character will like pop up and like Sora is here or something like that. Anytime a new character is released, it's a big to do. And yeah, I mean he's added to the roster, and there's really kind of cool things with each character. It's not just here's a character, I fight as him. Like there's a mode in the game called Classic Mode, which they'll theme all these fights around a character. They'll be like for instance, if you're playing with Ryu from Street Fighter, they'll make every game like a stamina match, which basically is similar to HP and kind of how like Street Fighter fights are. And they'll make them with like other fighting characters and stuff like that until you get to the final boss. And so they'll have one with every single character. So there's just another with each character you unlock. You're like, oh, cool, another experience in classic mode. And there'll be these spirit battles where you have to battle these. Um, Basically, what spirit battles are, and to those who don't know, it's like there'll be a spirit that you're fighting. So, like in this case, it'll be like, okay, you're fighting Kyrie. Kyrie is a character in Kingdom Hearts, and there'll be like an image and like, here's the spirit of Kyrie. And they'll basically, Kyrie's not in Super Smash Brothers, so they'll model a character to like act and behave in a way that would make you think of Kyrie. Maybe they'll have another character that pops up who's also modeled a certain way to be like, oh, I see what they're doing there. So if you know what's going on, you're like, ah. So for instance, like Ness's dad is a spirit in the game, and the character's like invisible because Ness's dad isn't in the freaking game other than just being a person on the other side of a phone. And so like they'll do cheeky stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff to do whenever they add a new character, and obviously checking out the music and the new stage and all that stuff. But man, this is just awesome. It's just I'm just like, what? I cannot freaking believe I'm playing Sora in Super Smash Brothers. I mean, it's just such a crazy thing. And seeing the Disney logo like under, like, because they'll have like the Kingdom Hearts logo next to the stage, and to see Disney next to it, it's just surreal. It really freaking is.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. This sort of thing, like, people are saying this a lot, and I agree. This sort of thing will never happen again, like in a fight in a game. I don't think any Super Smash Brothers will come after this that can be this, to where it's like every character's here, and then there's these big.
I mean, it's the ultimate.
It's ultimate. It really is. And
it's hard to know what could they possibly do next. I've always thought that when I've thought about Smash Bros. It's like, okay, I guess you've reached the end.
Yeah, it just
update that game, I guess.
Exactly, just keep updating. This is Fortnite now, or whatever, a Fortnite that you pay for once.
Up-res it maybe on the next system.
Yeah. And playing this, like playing a Sora, and it's so crazy to realize something, that why Smash is so special when it comes to these games, because there's other games that are coming out that are like this, like the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, something like that. I forgot what it's called, but like watching the gameplay for that, you can immediately tell kind of like, oh, this is kind of what separates everything else from Smash Bros. There's a polish that comes to Smash Bros. Beyond it not being like 4K or crispy, high definition or whatever. Like the movements of the characters, the voices, the way they act, and how accurate they are to like the games. It feels genuine. Like something about it feels genuine. Like this character is really in this game. Like it feels like that. Like how in Fortnite, when like Ryu is in it, it's like, you feel like, okay, well, that's a costume. You know what I mean? I'm dressing up as this character. The character's not really here. Yeah. Like Master Chief isn't really here. You're just kind of like, oh, look, there's an homage to Master Chief, Yeah. But this is still, like, for me, like one of the few games where you're like, this character is in the game. They're there. They're there fighting Mario. They're there fighting freaking Solid Snake. It's crazy. And so, man, we'll never see this again. The hype cycle of each individual character that gets announced, and people being like, I wonder who it's going to be. And then it's announced and people are like, holy crap. Like, I don't see it ever happening again. But you know what? Whatever. Beautiful things aren't beautiful because they last. Is that the line from Age of Ultron? I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess. That's pretty much it. I don't think I'm watching / playing anything else super significant. How about you, man?
So Squid Game's over, right? They finished it. They've released it all.
It was all just.
Did they release it all as one chunk?
Yeah, Netflix does that more often than not. Yeah, so yeah, it's there.
They used to always do that. I just, with the way things are now, I wasn't sure. Anyways, the Braves, man, they are rocking it. They're in the NLCS, like I talked about. Exactly. So they're actually playing right now. I'm actually watching them on my phone as we talk here.
Go Braves.
Yeah, they won their first 2 games in Atlanta. It's exciting. So it's a best of 7. So they have to win 4 games to move on to the World Series. And so we're in game 3 right now, and they are winning 5-2, the bottom of the 8th.
Thinking about buying tickets?
Oh, that'd be awesome. I don't think I'm going to be able to get up there.
Right.
We're going up to Asheville, as I told you at the beginning of November, but I think the series is going to be over. I mean, so
Mm.
trying to remember how it works. So it's 2 games, then 3 games, then 2 games. So they played the first 2 in Atlanta, then they'll play 3 in Los Angeles. Those are the first of 3, and they'll play 2 more in Atlanta if need be. I mean, if the Braves can win the next 2, it's over. But
Right.
oh yeah, I would love to go. I mean, usually tickets are kind of expensive, and obviously Atlanta's 5 hours away. But
Yeah, yeah.
oh, that'd be great. But so if they do win, they will probably face the Red Sox. Right now, the Red Sox and the Astros are playing. I believe the Red Sox are up 2-1. So yeah, I mean, if there's any chance I could get to go, I've never gotten to go to the World Series. That would be,
That'd be
just
crazy.
a dream for a baseball fan like me. So especially to see my Braves. I mean,
Right.
any World Series with any team is a dream for somebody who's a baseball fan, but especially to see like the team they've been cheering for their entire life, thanks to their grandfather who gave them like signed memorabilia and stuff when I was growing up. I don't even know why he was a big Braves fan. He
Right.
was. He had like I remember he had this one picture in his office of like the 94 Braves or 95 Braves or something with like some of the big names, back then, all on there, and it was all signed. And I just remember every time I'd go over to their house, I would go over to that picture and I'd just look at it, like, that's so cool.
Maybe it was like a thing. Like I always wonder that too. Like why, like you didn't live in Atlanta or you don't live in Atlanta or like why are you?
Exactly.
It's like maybe
Yeah.
it's him. Someone handed it down to him in a similar
Yeah.
kind of
It
way.
could have
Who
been.
was like did have some sort of connection to that team.
Well, that picture was too new for that to happen. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it must have been something like that. I mean, I think anybody who cheers for any team, I think it's unless it's just they moved to somewhere and adopted the team. I think the only other way is like parents, family, you know, the city you live in. I mean, that's the typical thing. But yeah,
Right.
it's kind of a cool thing when it's passed down from generation to generation. I've always thought it's just neat. Like I know that my dad, him and his dad, they lived in Baltimore, and or just outside of Baltimore, between Baltimore and DC. And so, they would go to the Senators, who used to be
Mm-hmm.
the name. Now they're the Orioles. Used to be the the Baltimore Senators, and yeah, they'd go to those games, and just it was a family thing, and it
Yeah.
was the home team. I don't know. It's a cool part of life, having the home team, and here, of course, we have the Gators in Gainesville. Anyways, that's a tangent, but yeah, the Braves are playing really well. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and
That's hype.
I'll stop now. Only Murders in the Building is finale, like we were talking about. I thought it was tonight. I guess it's tomorrow, yesterday night. But anyways, we've watched the next to last episode. The last episode is airing now, and I'll just say like this is a show you need to watch. It's well worth the stream. It's a great murder mystery. I would implore you, Jordan, to watch this show, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's lighthearted,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it moves pretty quickly, stays up to upbeat.
How many episodes were there?
Mired down in any details. I want to say 9, maybe 10. It's
Nice.
somewhere around there. I mean, it's
Easy
pretty
breezy.
compact show. Um, just a good cast though. Just a good cast. It's one of those shows that it's not a 10 out of 10, but it's good. It's definitely in the good
Mm-hmm.
category, 7 to 8 kind of show, I would say. So yeah, just a show I'm glad came out. I was kind of looking for something like this that kept my interest, and yeah, this has. So
Great. Yeah.
excited to finish it all up, and hopefully it'll be another season. It's a show I'd love to come back.
I am destined to watch it. It's my
Good.
destiny.
Glad to hear that. Back for Blood was the other thing I had talked about last week. I downloaded, came out for Game Pass, of course, came out for PS5, Xbox, probably Switch. I don't
Nope.
know.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. So it looks like PC, Xbox, PlayStation. Yeah. So this is the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, and like I said last week, I have some experience with Left 4 Dead. I want to say I played 2 or 3 on the 360. I want to say back in the day. Um, I think I bought it in like a bargain bin just because I'd
Yeah.
heard so many good things about it. I was just like, I gotta play this. And I don't know, it didn't, it was interesting. I just didn't it felt glitchy, honestly, back then. It just didn't run very smooth for me. And I don't know why that was. I mean, all I ever hear about Left 4 Dead is how much people love it. They wanted it to come back so much. Um, and hearing all that hype, it just it got me excited for Back for Blood. And having played it, I'll say, I enjoy it. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's another one where it's a little glitchy, to be honest. Like, it's certainly not that it's a bad game. I enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna try to finish it. I enjoy zombie shooters. So, certainly don't think that what I'm saying here is that it's not good, it's not worth playing, because that's definitely not true. But like one time there's like this giant like ogre guy that you're supposed to be like scared of, and he disappears. Like it's just this weird thing where it's like I'm like walking up to shoot him and he just completely goes away. But it's like the music's still playing. It's clearly like supposed to be this like tense thing. And then all of a sudden he like flashes back in. And I don't know. There's also this weird system where they call like running through the campaign a run, and you can like start a new run. And I guess you're just supposed to like play through it with different characters, unlock different costumes. Which I guess if you are really into this game more than I am, maybe you'd want to do that. For me personally, once I finish this campaign, I'm probably going to be done with this game. Like I said, not because I'm not having fun, just because the levels are a little samey. You're shooting the same enemies over and over again. You're doing some cool things. Like the last one I played, you're defending like this jukebox for some reason. I don't even know why. That's another thing. The story is like pretty much throwaway for me. I just kind of skip through the stuff. It's like, you're defending this boat and then you have to blow it up so that zombies can't get through. And it's just, it's fine. It's really like, I just want to be here. I just want to shoot. I just want to have cool attachments to my guns. I want to upgrade my guns, and I want the bots to help me, which I will say the bots work really well. So that's kind of a cool little extra thing, because so many times you'll be there like with your bots and they'll just be like doing absolutely nothing, but
spinning around. Yeah.
There's times in this case where I don't even have to shoot. They just like kill everyone as we're walking through. But they play a pretty decent balance where I'm able to like still get some
That's good
kills.
to hear.
Yeah. But it's enough to where I'm not dying like all the time. They're helping me. Anyways, all that being said, yeah, like this game, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I would say it's definitely leaning in the positive. This is a fun game. If you enjoy shooters, I think this is worth a play, with a few caveats to that. A little glitchy, and like I've said last week, the systems to me are a little confusing. Like you get all these cards, and I still really don't understand how it works. Like each time you do it, there's corruption cards, which I understand. It's like a complication. Like, oh, there's birds, and if you scare the birds, there's going to be a horde of zombies that come. Like, okay, I get that. It's just it's an extra complication to make it a little harder, kind of like the skulls in Halo. So that's fine. But then there's like these cards that are supposed to help you, but like I keep getting the same ones. It's like, but my health doesn't go up. Like I'll keep picking the health card, so I have like 4 health cards. But it's like at this point, shouldn't it be like 4x of whatever the card does? And it doesn't seem to do that. So I'm a little confused. Maybe I'm slow. I don't know. I just don't feel like that's something you should have to go online and read a guide for. It should be explained to you when you're playing.
Right.
Anyways, those are my complaints. But overall, the shooting mechanics work well. It's fun. It's just it gets a little samey at times.
It's a little repetitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But overall, pretty good game. So that's about it for me.
Okay, I'll have to check out Back for Blood. I almost said Left 4 Dead again, but
Left 4 Blood.
Left 4 Blood, man. I mean, yeah,
it's a good name. It's a really good name for a spiritual successor. I like the play on words there.
That is really good. I agree. Okay. Luke, I thought for our topics that we have today, we're going to talk about DC Fandome, but I thought something to start off, which I feel like we will both probably have some negative things to say about. Let's give an update with Nintendo and the online subscription service and what's going on there. Have you heard about this, Luke? Have you heard about
No,
the
I
latest
haven't.
controversy? All right, so I'm going to break it down for you. All right, so we talked about it a few weeks ago. Nintendo had their direct, and they announced we're doing the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. We're releasing Nintendo 64 games, Sega Genesis games, and we're gonna do that as a second tier to the subscription that's already happening. So the current subscription is you play games online, you get cloud backups, and there's like over 100 NES, SNES games you have access to. $20 a year, not very much, and that there's a lot of complaints about the online subscription, like as far as the online stuff is concerned, like the functionality is not good. Yeah. That's where we're at now before this, and we're just anticipating being like, how much is the expansion pack going to be? When's it coming out? There's a bunch of details we do not know. And so they had an Animal Crossing Direct where they said, hey, we're going to show all this stuff that's coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons. And it was a great Direct, honestly, just briefly. Like, awesome. Someone who likes the game, holy crap, what a lot of content. Like, a lot of content coming to that game. It's almost like Animal Crossing New Horizons 1.5, or like, seriously, it's almost like as much content you'd expect in like a sequel or something. It's like, holy crap. And then at the end, they're like, okay, so we're adding paid DLC alongside of this, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty great too. I'm happy to pay the money for that. And so they say, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to add this. If you want to, you can get this separate, or if you have the on Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, you get it for free, no extra cost required or whatever. It was kind of their phrasing. And so we're like, okay, cool. Now, when's that thing coming out and how much it's going to be? Now, towards the end of the Direct, they kind of flash on the screen the price. And shortly after, Nintendo posted about it and posted a video kind of explaining the whole thing and everything like that. And so here is the breakdown of the price for this thing. A lot of people, there were speculations of Nintendo 64 coming out alongside the subscription that was already there. That was the thing that people thought were going to happen. And then we're like, oh, a tier. I wonder how much it's going to be. Maybe like $5 extra, $10 extra. So this new tier brings the price from $20 a year to $50 a year. It is a $30 upgrade, which is crazy. It is kind of like it feels like an instance of a DLC being more expensive than the game, which, I know this isn't DLC. This is a service where obviously Nintendo is putting the value in these games that you're getting, and they don't really put a lot of value in the whole online portion of it. It looks like they're almost like completely focusing on the value of the games. But yeah, there was a huge kind of backlash a little bit towards that. And and also I need to mention that with each one of these subscription services, whether it be the base Nintendo Switch Online or this whole expansion pack thing, there is a family plan option too. So with the normal one, it's $35 a year, but this one it's $80 a year. So that kind of makes sense as far as like scaling it up for that. But the thing is with this, what Nintendo says is, okay, so what you do is you sign up for this family thing. You basically make a list of emails of people who have a Nintendo Switch account, and that's it. You can do like up to 8 people. So a lot of people end up like sharing this and like splitting the cost and all that stuff with up to 8 people. They don't have to be in your family. They don't have to be in your household. They don't have to be on your same Switch.
How many accounts do you get with the family version?
8.
Okay.
So that's pretty
for 8 individual Switches.
Yeah. So the moment I found this out, I was like, holy crap, that's a lot. Like Amber has this, I have this. And so I reached out to a couple of friends. I was like, hey, do you want to go in? Why do you
both have it? You only have one Switch, right?
Yeah, she has to have it if she wants to do anything online. Like, we only have the one Switch, but she has her own account.
You sign on to 2 different things.
Right. Every time you turn on a game or whatever, you get to pick which profile you're playing the game as, which is nice.
Wow, they make you pay for 2 on the same Switch?
Right.
That's lame.
Regardless, the funny thing is, it's not the same for like, say, PlayStation or Xbox. It's not.
Actually, it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is. So it is a tie to each account. It is the same. You're right.
I see. Okay. I have to
Or you're
revisit that.
wrong.
Maybe
Whatever.
either way, I'm wrong. But
It's still annoying though.
it is annoying. So yeah, right now what we've done is I teamed up with a couple people, friend Adam, friend Carrie, and we're like, hey guys, you guys own Switches, you're probably gonna want this. It's really expensive just for one person to pay for it. It's $50 compared to 20. How about we split it between the two of you and me and Amber, and yeah, it'll still be $20 for each of us. And they're like, yeah, that of course, absolutely, and because there's no cost, they don't have to like log in as me or anything like that. They just oh, I'm on the list or whatever. But aside from that, yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it's a huge it's a huge difference in price.
It is, yeah. I guess, I'm paying 180 a year, so
right.
It's not a lot compared to that.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you value.
I do get a lot more games in Game Pass.
Yeah, you get current games.
That is one
day
thing.
one games.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like, what do you value? Like, I think regardless, like, I'm not jumping into like a defense of this thing. I think
do you
it's
think
ridiculous.
One thing, sorry to interrupt you,
go ahead.
but do you think, would you say that the expansion pack does add more though than the original package had? Like, do you think it has more value than what you were already getting for your 20?
It really just kind of depends on how you look at it. Like, if honestly, the whole online functionality thing, just to have those online features, that's like a must. It's like, yeah, you got to have that.
Is like saving stuff, right? That's the big thing.
And just to play online. Like, if you want to play online on Smash or Mario Kart or anything like that,
but
you have to have
from
that.
what you've told me, you never did that very often.
Not very often. No, I just play. Honestly, the only game I play online is Smash on the Switch. I don't really play Mario Kart that much online. I don't play Animal Crossing that much online. Just Smash. And yeah, I mean, for me, the games are definitely the most exciting part of the whole thing. And for this expansion pack, yeah, Nintendo 64 for me is far more substantial than NES games, for instance. Like, for me, that's like, oh my God, like Zelda Ocarina of Time, that's fantastic. Like, I these games are old, but I really value these games, and I do go back to them and like to go back to them, sometimes more than some of these older games. Like, sometimes I go back to some of these older games, like for instance the original Legend of Zelda. For me, can be, it's like you turn it on a little bit, you're like, oh, this is cute, and then it's like, I can't go back right now. Like, I don't know, but some of these 64 games, like I can play Star Fox 64 any day of the week. Like, that game is, for me, a game I can go back to I'm sure there's people who feel that way about the original Legend of Zelda, but for me, I value those 64 games very highly. So this is something I have to have. It's just as simple as that. This is something I must have.
It sounds like it is more of a value for you, at least.
For me, it is more of a value. It is. But I am very shocked by the price. I feel like it's a mistake for them to do that, because when Switch was released, the first 6 months, there was no such thing, or was it the first year? I don't remember. There was no such thing as the Nintendo Switch Online service. It was just you get that stuff for free. You get online play for free, and then they added cloud saves and the games, basically getting those service games. All I'm saying, and also, yeah, the fact that you get that $25 DLC for Animal Crossing, that's not nothing, because that's something I would get anyways. Like, that is a good thing. But looking at what they're doing, I really do hope they're like, yeah, we're charging more for this than the original price. Like, we're on top of what you're already paying. We're going to add a lot to this. Like, I really do hope they say, okay, we're going to add another system down the line, or like, which wouldn't be unprecedented. They added the Super Nintendo games later.
I mean, what I think. I mean, I've talked about that. I mean, everything should be online. It's just like, even if it is expensive to where people get upset, at least just put it online.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least give people the option, because at least that like completely knocks out that argument that's like, well, why are you making me pay for the same stuff? It's like, well, here it is. You want it? Play it.
Right.
You know?
And like, thing is with like, it's almost like they're going into something where it's like Nintendo Game Pass. But the thing that's different and separates this from Game Pass, with Game Pass, they're very explicit about what this service is and like what you can expect when it comes to Game Pass as a service. Be like, we're going to have a lot of new games. We're going to have games that are third party, but guess what? All these first party games, they're yours, for day one. There's your expectations. Yeah, you can be surprised when we add, for instance, they're adding Dragon Ball Fighters on their next month. Like, you can be surprised and be like, oh, awesome, that's great. And it's like, we know what to expect at this point, but with this, it's like, what's going on? Are you going to keep adding systems, or are we going to do this again in a year or two when they're like, we're raising it again and we're adding, I don't know, GameCube games, and it's like, and by that time you're paying how much? I have no idea what to expect with this. Like, expectations are like all over the place. Nintendo does a terrible job at this most of the time to be like, hey, because at first, like, we expected with the Nintendo games and the Super Nintendo games, you're going to get a handful of games a month. And that's kind of how they started. But then they were like, you know what? We're not really doing that. Now it's going to be every few months you'll see a couple games. And very few and far between now. And now they're adding this. Like, what can we expect? Are we going to expect another? How often are you going to add a game? When are you going to add another system? Yeah. If so, is it going to be?
You just need to be more forthright, like Microsoft has been.
And this whole thing with here's
Game Pass.
Yeah. This whole thing, like, here's the Animal Crossing DLC for free. Is this a thing? Is this going to be a thing to where it's like, are we going to expect, there's new DLC, and guess what? We're adding that to it as well. Is it going to be monthly? Semi-annually?
Annually? Wild. It would rock everybody's socks off and change this whole, like, downvote, all these videos on YouTube.
Right.
If they said, guess what? Nintendo first party, day and date, baby.
Right.
That would change everything.
Flip their lid.
They would say, this is the best deal ever.
Everyone
would go from saying this is crazy expensive to saying, oh my God, this is perfect. This is what we wanted.
Oh yeah, they'd say $50. Is that all? Like, seriously, they'd be like, are you kidding me?
For the way Nintendo prices stuff.
Right, when they never go down in price.
And it stays expensive.
Right.
It's one of the big things with Nintendo.
This is one of like the first generations that I can think of that had, they started doing this with GameCube and they kept doing it, but they haven't done it and they probably won't do it with Switch. The whole like Nintendo Selects thing, when it gets to a certain point in the generation and the game goes down to $20. You could Mario Kart 8 still $60, baby. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yep. Like, there gets to the point where you do feel like you're taken advantage of a little bit, as someone who's,
I agree.
yeah. It's like, you people, you non-Nintendo people, you're like, man, I feel sorry for Nintendo fans. It's like, just
the lack of access and the excessive price.
Right. So, I mean, I can hope all I want about what they're gonna do moving forward, but man, I don't know. Like, it's always weird. Like, like, there was remember that big backlash that happened with Xbox Games for Gold? They were gonna like significantly increase the price.
Double.
They turned around in like a day. Like, they heard people and they were like, "Oh, nope, don't want to do that," and so they turned around. I don't know. Like, I wish there were more like forthright. It's crazy, like, seeing all these rumors. I don't want to take this too long, but people like Bloomberg will make these rumors about like Nintendo Switch 4K and all this stuff, and Nintendo will respond
really
quickly.
I haven't seen that.
It's their business account on Twitter. They will say, no, we want to be clear to the customers.
That's refreshing.
But really, the thing is I'm almost cynical about it, because I feel like they're talking these messages, because they mention in each one of these messages they're shareholders.
Yeah.
So they cannot be misled as to what's going on.
Forward-facing statement.
Right. And so I would love it if, like, someone like, if like Doug Bowser, you know, the American president of Nintendo, would like come out and be like, we hear what you're saying, and this is what we want to do moving forward. This is our vision for Nintendo Switch Online and Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. And so you can know what to expect throughout the years. And we're going to the end of the life cycle soon. Like, I know we just released Switch OLED, but obviously the Switch isn't going to get to be 10 years old before there's a new console. And we want to know, are these services carrying over to the next generation? Or always like, oh, we're paying $50 for a couple of years, and it's like, oh, never mind, they're going on to something new and just disregarding this. And so I don't know. I am excited. I'm excited to pay, to play these games, and I've worked something out to where I'm not paying more money, and like, a few of my friends are in the same boat. But
so many people have got to be doing that.
So many people should do that.
It's a weird way to set it up. It's like you're pushing people to just do that.
Right. And they literally are. They'll say like, the bigger your group, the more you save. They say that literally. And they don't even say family. Like it's
weird.
It's called family plan, but there's zero restrictions as far as like who you can add.
No IP address thing.
No,
like that.
You don't have to log into your system. Yeah. You can literally just, you add someone to a list and they accept a request on an email, and their account is now blessed with the power of whatever the service is, it's pretty great. But at the same time, there's so many people who, obviously don't have access to anyone to really, help lower that cost. Like, it's not just friends, it's Switch friends, people who have a Switch and play the Switch. True. And so I was able to get, 4 people.
It'd probably be like forums online for like, let's share one.
Right. And that can honestly be a bad situation where you're like, I'm going to forward you $10 or however much if they have a party of 8, and they can remove you from the list whenever they want if they're the ones who are like the head of the family plan. That's
weird.
And so I don't even suggest that. I suggest the person at least a little bit, enough to where you can be like, I can at least communicate with them reliably.
Yeah, that's true.
But anywho, got to talk about that because I was like, this is nuts. But I think the bigger stuff that's going on is the DC Fandome, right? Wouldn't you say?
DC Fandome. I guess this is going to be a yearly thing now.
I guess so. I didn't, when it happened last year, I was like, oh, okay, so they're doing that. And so now I'm like,
this is Warner Brothers, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's DC Comics and Warner Brothers. Okay.
Right.
Team up. Gotcha.
I don't know about that.
It's pretty much only Warner Brothers content.
Right. Yeah. They own DC and all their stuff. So yeah, it's
just in the article on The Verge, it says DC Comics and Warner Brothers held their second annual fandom.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's kind of strange.
I don't know about this name though. I'm going to be honest. The first time I heard it, I was like, Fandome?
Yeah.
Fandome. Like I said out loud.
Just call it fandom. Just like use the normal word. Don't make up some stupid word.
Fandome.
Yeah. It's so goofy.
Such a dumb play on words. We probably talked about this last year.
Fiesta would be a better thing, and that's still
stupid. At least you're not. Yeah, it's still stupid, but at least you're not trying to do some play on words that doesn't really make sense to begin with. Dome significant in the DC universe.
Like, are we all meeting in like the Superdome and like down in down in New Orleans?
Yeah. You'd think it was like something significant to like superheroes or the DC universe, but really it's just some idiot in a conference room.
A fan cave or something.
How about the Fandome? You see it? It's the word. Fandome, but no. You add an E and then it's
Fortress of Fandom. That would be better. Fortress of Fandom.
Oh, it would be better. It would be better.
At least it'd make some sense.
At least there's something there. Something. Anyways, enough about the name. We've attacking this
terrible.
Name. It's terrible.
Change it immediately. Yeah. Moving on.
Immediately, forthwith. There was a bunch of trailers, right? Or
what was your favorite one, Jordan?
The Batman.
Yeah. I'd agree. I would agree.
Yeah. I mean,
Black Adam's fun though.
Black Adam's fun.
Yeah.
Black Adam's fun. This is not fun. I would say this movie is very much not. It does not look like they're trying to do fun with the Batman.
No,
It does not look like you're gonna
it's
be.
fun as in I'm excited to see a new, anti-hero.
It's fun just because it's the Batman, or just because it's Batman. But
Oh, I was talking about
sorry.
Black Adam.
I think Black Adam will be fun, even though
Batman can sometimes be an anti-hero,
right,
depending on the situation.
yeah. I mean, yeah, depending on who's riding him. I mean,
This trailer for the Batman definitely got me the most excited of anything they've put out so far.
Right.
The first one, I was just like, looks kind of weird. This, I mean, it's got some Dark Knight vibes in there, and I love the Dark Knight series, so it seems different, but I still like that it keeps that dark theme,
Yeah.
reinvents who Batman is in some ways, which is fine. That's totally cool. I mean, every creator should be able to have their own freedom to explore. I like that the Batmobile has changed as something new. Not that I didn't love the Tumbler. I mean, it's a great Batmobile, but I'm rambling here a little bit. But there's a lot of things about this. It's like, wow, okay, I like the darker theme. They didn't, make it more lighthearted like the 90s Batmans or something goofy like that.
Right. I don't think you'll be able to do that. We talked about this a little bit in our Bond episode as for like what comes next. I don't know if they can go back to like not being grounded. And I don't think Batman can go back to not being like at least as dark as the Nolan stuff, right?
I mean, look at what Thor did. I mean, Thor got goofy in movie number 3.
Right. You're not wrong.
But I loved it. I mean, I think that's the best Thor movie, hands down. Ragnarok.
Let's do that.
And I mean, it'll be interesting to see where Star Wars goes with I always forget how to pronounce
Taika
his name.
Waititi.
Taika, yeah, how he does.
Right.
That's a distraction, but it's just like an example of how like things maybe can change in. I don't know if it's going back, but it's kind of a different direction.
Right. I mean, this with freaking the Batman, it looks, for me, for my money, it looks darker than the Nolan stuff. Like it looks even more
Could be
visceral. I mean, yeah, it's all about like how the story's handled. It's not just about aesthetic, but
it at least is the same darkness.
At the very least, yeah.
I mean, the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, pretty dark.
Right.
But Bane, I don't know. He was trying to be darker, but I don't know. It's just I like that Bane, but I don't know. The script was a little lacking.
So that lovely
Didn't
voice.
Make him as scary.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about the Batman for sure. And it's coming out, like, seeing that date, it's been that date for a while. It has been that date, but seeing it, it's like, wow, that is soon, isn't it? It's not that far away. March?
It feels like it's been coming for so long, which I think it has. I mean, what, 4 years maybe we've been thinking about this? Like, it's been in the news. Like, obviously we didn't have much back then, but I mean, this has been rumored for a long time, like a long, long time. Like Robert Pattinson got cast in this role many years ago, or at least it was announced.
Right.
And then, I'm sure, they had to work on it obviously for a long time. But man, this is one of those movies. It's just been a long, long time coming, kind of like Justice League or, Batman v Superman, like, or even Avengers. I mean, we waited a long time for that. So yeah, this is another one of those culminations of like superhero movies where it's like, finally, we finally get another Batman after what was it, 2012? Was it Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, the 2012 was Dark Knight Rises, and if you want to count Batflick, I mean,
so 10 years.
It's been a long time. Yeah, since our last
10
Batman
years we've
movie.
been waiting. So
yeah,
and I mean, being one of my favorite heroes, I mean, I've been certainly waiting for this.
Absolutely, and it's cool to kind of. I've been watching. I didn't really add this to my watching/playing list, but I'm watching on HBO Max the Batman: The Long Halloween. It's like a 2-part animated movie based on the graphic novel. I mean, after watching that, then watching this trailer, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want right now. I mean, this detective kind of story.
Yeah,
seems really awesome. It was like that. The animated movie's good, but I'm like, man, to see this realized in this way. I'm very excited for this movie.
Which is an original direction that honestly I don't feel like they've ever really explored in these live action Batmans.
Right. You're right.
Like, there was a little bit of that in The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight was much more of an action movie. And yeah, if it was more leaned a little bit more on the mystery, I think it would be a really good, more original. I mean, it's not original because it's the origin of the hero, but at the same time, it's original in live action film. So yeah, I hope they do. I agree with you.
Yeah, like,
Matt Reeves, like, push the mystery.
yeah, I want to see Batman going place to place, talking to these colorful characters, and like in between, he'll like run into some action that he has to face down, or have to bunch of bad guys he has to beat up, or chase the Penguin in his fat car or whatever.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
Yeah. By the way, the Penguin, Colin Farrell, what in the world? What a transformation! Like, it's one thing like seeing him, but to also hear him, he's doing a lot. I'm looking forward to him in that movie. Just him doing that voice or whatever. I got you. Oh, I got whatever he's doing. I'm looking forward to that. That looks like a fun interpretation of the Penguin to me.
I'll be honest. So I watched like a truncated version on YouTube, and then while you were talking earlier, I watched the whole thing with the audio off. So
yeah, watch him.
Hear that part.
Watch him in that. He is something. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do.
I don't know why there's multiple cuts of this trailer. Like the cut I saw was like, it looked like the 1 minute like TV spot like during a baseball game or something. It was like, and then I finally found the like 2 minutes 40 seconds like version. It's like, wow, wish I'd gotten to see all this before.
Yeah.
I hate those truncated cuts. Like, just show me the real thing.
It'll get you. It'll trick you. But you were talking about how like it feels like forever, like waiting for this movie. I mean, like, yeah, I think like all of these movies that we're talking about here, like it feels like we've been hearing about them for so long. When I'm looking at this, being like, when's The Flash coming out? Holy crap. Like, from how much I know about it, I feel like it should be coming out in a few months, but a year.
This is a problem DC's had for a long time now.
Right.
This is it. Just they announce these movies and then it goes on and on. I mean, Batman v Superman, like, that was talked about for so long. There were rumors, and then there was like little tidbits of news come out, and then I think they just disband the project, and then it like evolved into what it would later become, the nightmare it became. But it's like you're just not gaining anything, DC. Like I feel like the idea is, okay, they're working towards this big great thing, like Marvel-esque, but it never really happens. It never comes to fruition where it's this great thing, unfortunately. And so to me, it's like just twofold of frustration for the fans, where they're waiting for so long and then they don't really get what they came for in the end. And so, at a certain point, you just kind of get frustrated, and you lose the anticipation of what's coming out. And that's where I am with The Flash at this point. Like, was Ezra Miller's Flash good? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's a fine Flash in my opinion. I don't think he's outstanding, honestly.
I think he's only fine explicitly in the Snyder Cut.
But, I mean, it's just, and the fact that Ben Affleck's returning as Batman in it, I think, it's kind of agreed at this point. Ben Affleck was not a great Batman. I think people, at least I know I can speak for me, want to move on from Ben Affleck and move on to another Batman.
Right.
So it's like, we're bringing back a Batman that's kind of disliked. Like, I wouldn't say hated, but just disliked, because, I don't know if it's completely Ben Affleck's fault. I don't think it was a good fit for him, but, it's also, I think the scripted character that he played wasn't a good fit for the screen. So there's just a lot of things that come and play to me for The Flash. Like, like you said, we've been talking about it for so long.
Well, yeah, the whole Michael Keaton thing. We've known about it for ages.
Yeah.
It's, I don't get me wrong, like that's the thing I'm the most excited about, and they played it up in the trailer with the music, Michael Keaton's voiceover, and like the whole the silhouette of the, not silhouette, but just the Batmobile being under the sheet, and you don't even really see it, but you know, that stuff's
Yeah.
cool. But I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, and again, we have so long to stew with it, and let's talk about the language here. That the only one that was like a trailer was the Batman. Everything else, the language is first look, behind the scenes.
Oh my God. That's what I wanted to tell you earlier. Like, what was that at the end? Like talking about like we're working on it. And then there's the behind the scenes clip with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's like,
Right.
and Shazam. It's like, okay, come on. Like just don't add that in. Just do a teaser trailer.
Right.
It's the classic thing. It's worked, for how many decades now in Hollywood. Like people tease their movies and then it comes out a year, maybe two later.
The first trailer for The Dark Knight was just some voiceover in them showing the Bat logo. Like we didn't see a single
For
frame
Batman
of the
Begins,
movie.
right?
And Batman Begins. I think
Yeah.
both of them had like this
very vague,
minimalist, and it did enough. You don't. I don't know. It's just weird language that just makes it seem like are we to see every piece of this before it's released? Here's a behind the scenes. Oh, here's some concept art. Here's a first look. It's like good grief.
Yeah.
And by the time the thing comes out, it's like this worn out thing that's been trotted out all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You're really wanting to tease your content.
Right.
I don't think this is the way to do it.
Right. I agree. But real quick, but just to talk briefly about the Flash trailer, I mean, what was the vibe you got from it? Like, was it enough to even give you a vibe at all? I mean,
I would say the one thing I felt from it felt like they were trying to ground the Flash a little bit more and tell like more of an origin story. And I don't know. Obviously the timeline that they're like setting up isn't origin, but like just to like, where is Ezra Miller's Flash like coming from and what is his motivation?
Right.
I would say is what it like felt like there. But it also was interesting to me, like how much Batman played a role in the Flash movie. Like,
right.
I thought this was called the Flash, and yet like he's in the Batcave, he's revealing the Batman mobile. Like, okay, like that's fine because I love Batman. But if somebody was a big fan of the Flash, I feel like you'd be really frustrated seeing that. Like,
yeah, it's a
make
strange
this about
thing.
the Flash, not about Justice League.
Especially in like the first Flash movie. Like it's one thing on your third Thor movie to tease the Hulk, to be like, oh, the Hulk's gonna show up and they're gonna fight. That's one thing. That's the third Hulk movie, and to be fair, it wasn't that focused on it to begin with. But this, like, yeah, all the hype is generated over Batman, over Michael Keaton's Batman, all of it, and
it's funny, like if you were just a fan, or if you were somebody who wasn't like into this, you'd be like, oh cool, Michael Keaton's in the new Batman movie.
Right. You wouldn't even know.
Nobody's in the new Batman movie. It's just Batman and characters that are in the Batman universe.
Exactly.
That's a completely separate thing. That's an art house piece that basically that Matt Reeves is putting together, which looks awesome, but it's not even related to the DC universe.
The tons of people
such a funny thing
don't know anything about Batman 89 or Batman Returns, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I didn't even know.
Oh, a new Batman in with the Justice League, right? Nope, not at all.
Got Michael Keaton for this. But yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, like this stuff, like for me, that stuff I am extremely nostalgic for. The whole Michael Keaton Batman thing, like that was pivotal. Like early superhero hype for Jordan was Michael Keaton's Batman, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, I recognize the strangeness of it's a Flash movie. Da, na, 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 na. It's like
it's also weird when it's like, isn't that what they're talking about doing in Spider-Man 2?
Right.
So
they're gonna beat him to the punch,
but TOO.
Yeah, I hear you
as well. It's it's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's gonna come out it's gonna come out a year later too. That's the funny thing. A year.
I mean,
after.
I I feel like the way these movies were filmed, like they weren't really copying each other, but it is kind of strange. It's just weird
Right.
that they're both doing a very, very similar thing where they're bringing back old characters from other movies that aren't supposed to be related at all. But
You
here we
must
go.
like you must think that like someone is passing notes or something like that
Seems
to be
like it.
like, what are we doing next? Well, we're the whole thing about
Nostalgic.
yeah, like we've crossed over so many people in our universe. Wouldn't it be crazy to cross over, you know, these different like takes on this character, the people things that old folks like us are nostalgic about. I guess like that's gonna be the trend moving forward. Are we gonna see an X-Man show up in Doctor Strange? I don't know, but either way, they're leaning heavily into this. So
Indeed.
yeah, those were like the biggest ones, right? The ones that like had the most substantial reveals. I mean, Black Adam. I mean, we could talk
Black
about
Adam. Yeah.
Black Adam. They
Black
showed a
Adam.
scene, right?
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of weird. Like that's the first thing you show. It's like
yeah.
full on scene. It's like it's not really even a teaser too, because I mean that's
No,
a full character reveal. Like here he is, and here's how he's gonna be. There's
yeah.
a little more than I think I would have liked for a first look at it.
I agree. Again, like you don't have to have a ton. Like one thing that's weird, it's like there's no in between. They showed like the first thing they showed a while back with The Rock voicing over was like concept art. It's like, why'd you even do that? Just like have some voiceover and again, like show the back of Black Adam and he's looking, you see some electricity and you see a logo. Boom. That can I guess like they just don't feel like it's enough now these days, and you have to like either show a scene or have a big full fledged trailer, or it's not a trailer. Is that the idea? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what'd you think of this though?
I think it looks good. It's Black Adam's not a character I'm very familiar with. I'm excited for The Rock to finally like fulfill what it seems like has been a dream for him.
Right.
And you know, a lot of times I enjoy The Rock's characters, so for that reason, I am excited. I'm always excited for a new character that you know could bring something new to DC or Marvel. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks good. I mean, it seems like a very dark character. You know, what do you know about Black Adam and his motivations?
I mean, not too much more. I mean, I don't. He's become more of an anti-hero, and I don't really know that side of him very well. I've known him more when he's fighting Shazam, and he's like a Shazam
Mm-hmm.
foil. That's what I know more of Black Adam. Like, is very rudimentary
You think there might be a
level.
crossover?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's gonna
What do you
be.
think?
Maybe he's gonna cross over with the Rock from Jungle Cruise. Actually, maybe they'll go that direction. The crossover isn't enough anymore, Luke. You have to bend
You think
realities.
Shazam might show up after the credits at the end of Black Adam and be like, "Hey guys,
What?
this crazy Black Adam guy, he's got to be dealt with." That's verbatim what he's going to say.
Yeah, verbatim. I mean, I don't know. I'm with you. I thought the trailer was cool. You know, I'm interested seeing
The scene,
yeah,
like
the
you said.
scene. Yeah, sorry. Him disintegrating some henchman that we don't know to the bone. Seems pretty cool. Honestly, it was pretty awesome. I'm kind of into the idea of The Rock playing this kind of character because you haven't really gotten that very much. Like him playing someone who's not like a hero. Like he's been playing like the Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger hero for so long.
Mhm.
The only other
Rampage.
times, Rampage, all this stuff. The only other times I can remember him playing,
San Andreas.
yeah, like only early career he'd play like a villain, like in Doom, he was a villain, and like in Scorpion,
Scorpion
King, yeah, he was like an
Love
anti-hero
that
kind of
movie.
thing, and I guess if you want to count like Get Smart, I don't know,
Get Smart. That's
Yeah.
great. Chaos.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's like it's gonna be cool, I think, to see him have play a character that's more of an edge to them, like because he's been playing this like,
Yeah.
hey,
Be
I'm
interesting
here to
see
save
how
the
that
world,
comes off on screen too.
right? Because he can
Yeah.
totally look like imposing and like,
Yeah, but you like know that
Right.
voice, you know those mannerisms. It's like you know him in such a different light. It's Yeah. It's
Right.
different when Rami Malek would try to do somebody likable. It's like he's established himself as like the like I don't know, his voice is just like perfect.
Right.
But yeah. It's actually the exact opposite. It's an inverse thing where it's like The Rock, it's hard for him to swing that way. Rami Malek, it would be hard for me to see him as a good guy, as the hero.
Right. Something sinister there. Yeah, but either way, it looks cool to me. I'm looking forward to it. First, like I was sick of hearing about it, but actually like finally seeing him, because this movie has been talked about for so long. Like it's crazy how this movie's been talked about longer than Shazam, which is funny to me. But
Yeah.
like but finally seeing him, like even if it's like a glimpse, it looks cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
He looks awesome. It is kind of that moment like, oh, sweet, Black Adam. Even though The Rock is so established, I should be just saying, oh, sweet, The Rock. You know, maybe he was born to play this role. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I must say.
Interesting to see. I mean, he's got the body for it.
Definitely. Jeez, he's freaking huge.
I don't know about the personality.
Right, right.
He's too likable.
He's like one of the bigger people we've seen in like whenever you get these giant dudes to actually be superheroes and put them in these suits and them actually look like they're a freaking comic book character, and how exaggerated and how crazy huge they are. It is something to see that. Like
what's his name in Guardians of the Galaxy? He's like the perfect body for it. Oh gosh, the wrestler.
Oh yeah, Batista, exactly.
Batista, yeah.
Giant bodies is a really cool idea for these wrestlers to do that. Like even like John Cena's Peacemaker, which, you know, honestly, I didn't see that trailer yet. I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, yeah.
What's up?
I don't know.
All right.
It's a weird thing for me to make a TV show about the Peacemaker character.
Yeah, especially after the movie.
John Cena, like I said, it's like there's nothing technically wrong with John Cena as an actor. He doesn't get me excited. Like, I don't know. He's a little bit like bland.
Maybe technical is the word that you use, because there might be something. He's doing all the right things, but you can see like the gears moving, the gears turning. You know, like he's
It's like he's trying to be likable,
right?
Like you can see him like really trying to be, and I don't know. It's like that one little thing that like for some reason I like The Rock, and I don't dislike John Cena, but I don't like him as much in those roles. Like Jungle Cruise, like with The Rock. I don't know. I really liked him.
The Rock has some genuine, like really genuine charisma. I think that he doesn't really have to try too hard to bring it out. I think, you know,
John Cena seems like one of those people where it's like you talk to them and they're one way, and then like your other friends like walk up and all of a sudden they're like completely different because those people are here. He kind of seems like that kind of person where it's like, wait, what? You weren't acting like that a minute ago.
So I see you've hung out with John Cena before. I get it.
He seems that way.
Right. What else is there really to talk about? You said like from Aquaman.
There's a Suicide Squad game.
Suicide Squad game. Games.
Yeah, the Court of Heroes, Gotham Knights, which I'll say the Gotham Knights, like that new trailer, it's got me excited. I loved Gotham City and the Gotham Knight. But yeah, I think, it looks similar to the Gotham Knight. It's confusing because the names are so similar. Similar.
Arkham Knight. Jeez, it's ridiculous.
Oh, Arkham. You're right. Arkham Knight. That's right.
Ugh.
It's Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum, Arkham City,
Gotham
Arkham
Knights.
Knight,
Yeah.
That's
all these words.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous for them to name that game that.
But that game looks good. Rocksteady, they make games that I enjoy, so I definitely would be interested in playing that one.
It's a big difference between like that and the Suicide Squad one, which I was kind of disappointed a little bit. The big difference is like, where's the gameplay for like the Suicide Squad game? It's like I have no idea what it's going to be like to play that game. Anytime there's a team game, I feel like I really do need to be like shown what it is. Like
Guardians of the Galaxy. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, at least in that one, like from what I heard, I think they set it up in ridiculously long trailer during the E3 presentation
Right.
that it's like you play as Star-Lord and that's it. You just play as
Right.
Star-Lord. It's like, oh, okay. So everyone else is just, helping you out, AI characters. But yeah, Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights. It's like both of them. Like, how is that dynamic going to work? Because
Yeah.
those both of those games look very similar and like they're play dynamic, just with different stories.
Exactly. I'm kind of like Avengers has taught me to be a little bit more fearful when it comes to these kind of games. To be like, is it going to be a bunch of bland characters, or is there going to be like just one really good and fleshed out thing? Like Batman, when you play as Batman, it feels so fleshed out in the Arkham games. Like it feels like, wow, there's so much thought put into these characters. When I play Avengers, I don't know. Like they try to make them different. They try to make them different, but they all have to work in the same like framework of gameplay. So there's kind of this blandness that sets over.
And the same designers worked on all those characters.
Right.
So their move mechanics and all that are going to be very samey.
And so I'm just wondering, it's like, what is it going to be with characters? Like, I know it's not going to be you play as Harley Quinn and that's it, or you play as Killer Shark and that's it. I don't know, King Shark. But I don't know. I want to see gameplay. It looks the story looks cool. All that looks cool. I'm already sold on all that. I really need to be sold on the gameplay.
Yeah. So I'm reading right now, Rocksteady's actually working on the Suicide Squad game, and Warner Brothers Games Montreal is continuing the Arkham style in Gotham Knights.
So the ones who made Arkham Origins.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah. Which is pretty good from what I hear.
Was that the one that came out after Arkham Knight?
It came out a little bit before Arkham Knight. It came out after Arkham City. It was like on the last generation. And then
it was like a smaller game?
Ish. Yeah, I mean, it was a full game, but not as giant as the other ones. Like I've heard. That's the one I haven't played.
Like a single A kind of thing.
Right. Or double A, maybe. I don't know what kind of batteries you're using, but
that's double the A's.
Double the A's. It is double the A's. Twice as more than one. But yeah, it looks good though. Like I don't know. Like the gameplay looks like a lot of fun with this one. I mean, the thing is with these characters, it's like they've already had their fighting styles established. It's like they fight like Batman, and so I don't know. They're with just tweaks. It's not like you're going from like Red Hood to freaking playing as I don't know I almost said Zendaya, like the actor. I mean, Zandana or whatever that freaking. I shouldn't have even referenced her if I couldn't say her name right.
I know what you're saying. I mean, it's Batgirl, it's Nightwing, it's Robin, it's Red Hood. I mean,
right.
A lot of melee, a lot of diving, avoiding, contact. Like,
and some of them are going to do
attacks.
Few things better. That's. You don't have to like worrying about like, oh, you're gonna play as Clayface. It's like
a bunch of very spry characters is like the main thing.
Right.
Like, bunch of gymnasts basically jumping around, grabbing stuff, doing flips, and doing awesome like backflip kicks and stuff. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just definitely more into the Gotham Knights. I don't. Maybe it's the animation style or something of the Suicide Squad. I don't know. It's not called animation style. Whatever the way it's rendered,
art design or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, graphics.
I don't know. It seems a little goofier.
Yeah,
I guess that's Suicide Squad. That's why they're doing it. But
yeah, I don't
know.
It's just the gameplay for me. I was surprised they just showed another like long cinematic. It's just like I want to know how this game's going to play. I think that's what everyone would want to know with a game like this. We're like, how is that going to work? That would be the first thing that comes to mind hearing it's a Suicide Squad game. Like, I think the second thing you think is, ooh, cool, Suicide Squad. But the first thing is, how's that going to play?
Yeah. How's it going to be to play as, King Shark and
right.
someone in half
versus
it sounds cool,
Deadshot.
But I don't know if that'd be that much fun.
Right. I just don't know.
I more want to play with Nightwing or Red Hood. That just sounds cool.
Yeah. Anywho, I think, there was a lot more, there's a lot of television that I didn't really pay attention to. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't pay attention to the final season of Supergirl or season 3. I can't believe there's a season 3 of a Batwoman. And yeah. Doom Patrol, I keep hearing it's great, but I still haven't watched a single second of it. So, but anyways, yeah, I think that about covers it. Don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah, Dune's coming
cool
out.
Stuff. A few cool things that came out.
Right.
Yeah, Dune. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Seems like it's doing well overseas. So they said they've passed 100 million. I saw. That's good.
Holy
good
crap.
to see the movies making some good money.
Right.
Weird for a movie to come out, so much earlier overseas and then come to North America so much later. China and Europe, they've already seen this movie.
That is a strange feeling. How dare they?
Well, I mean, we did make it, so
right.
I feel like we should be able to watch it first.
We made it. Come on. Yeah. Looking forward to it. I mean,
129 million.
129 million.
That's out right now.
Quite good. So, I mean, I know that director has had a lot to say over the past several months. He's sweating about it and very concerned about the.
He is a great
experience.
director.
Oh yeah,
he's made some great stuff. So, if anything, have heart at that. He knows what he's doing.
Right. Very interesting to hear him say like, "This movie's amazing in 3D." Like it never even occurred to me to see it in 3D. Like, I mean, I'm not going to, but
I know. I can't help but like wonder how much of that is just like a paid thing.
Right. Like, I don't know. Like it almost seems like sometimes I'm tempted to see something in 3D because I'll be like, I'll be the only one in the theater. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's like my shut up tax that I paid. Like everyone shut up. I'll be alone.
You always say that, but it doesn't seem to work out that way.
Definitely hasn't been that way with RPX. It definitely has not been working out like that. I will.
For those who
very
care
much
here, Dennis Villanueva also did Prisoners, which I think you and I would agree that's a good movie. Sicario, which is one of my favorite action movies. Arrival, which is one of my favorite
sci-fi movies.
Sci-fi movies.
It's a great movie.
And, Blade Runner 2049, which, I mean, I think it has its fans. It was a little long for me, a little complicated story, but certainly a well-made movie. I don't know.
Right.
Wasn't the biggest fan of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I like all those movies, and I'm sure I'll like Doom. I'm sure I'll like it. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
And I am looking forward to seeing it in theaters. I'm not gonna see it in 3D like he wants me to, but I will see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll talk all about it, and try to break down this story. Again, I didn't get through the book. I was trying to read the whole thing. I'm a couple hundred pages short out of a 700 page freaking
It's a
book.
big book.
It's a big book, man. It's dense. Yeah. It is dense. Like I can tell you right now, this movie is going to be less dense than that book. I don't even have to see the movie. I know. It's going to hold your hand more to the movie.
Well, there's a part 2, so.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I just saw that in his filmography in pre-production.
Like it's not like the second. It's the second part of the book,
I'm just
or
telling you, it just says Dune Part 2.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It might be because it's a long book. It might.
This synopsis means nothing to me, so I don't know.
Right. I'm not really sure either, because again, I didn't finish it, so I have no idea.
That's the kind of thing. Maybe I don't want to know that before I see this movie, but now I do.
Maybe
so.
I feel like I'll have a sense because I didn't get insanely far. I got like 200 pages in, so like if they get to a point that I know in the movie and we're like an hour and a half in, I'm like, nope, they're not finishing the story. They're not finishing. They're gonna get a part 2. So.
I mean. It makes sense,
right?
Make more money that way.
Hopefully they get
already
to do
in pre-production, so
good. I'm glad
part 2 is definitely happening.
I'm glad
he's doing a TV show apparently.
TV show.
That's what it says. He's working on the pilot, Dune: The Sisterhood.
Oh, okay. Is it gonna? It's gonna be weird.
TV show set in the Dune universe.
Like I could really see a show that takes place in the Batman universe because we're getting that, like with the Gotham PD or whatever. But because like you can shrink that down to like a smaller scale. I cannot imagine this Dune being translated into like, and now the TV version, you know what I mean? This is a giant thing we're about to watch.
Yeah. I mean, even in the new TV like teaser for Dune, I've seen like the new, what did it say? The new Star Wars / Matrix or something like
good
that. It was
Lord.
like, why would you say that in the trailer? Like, to me, that cheapens it so much.
Especially about
this isn't its own thing, okay? This is the new Star Wars. Like, shut up.
Especially about a book that's older than both of them. It's like, are you kidding me? That's annoying. Yeah. All right. So we'll see it and we'll talk all about it and talk about the new Star Wars or the new Matrix or whatever. It's gonna
whatever they said.
Whatever they said.
Cheap garbage.
Yeah, so stupid. The new Game of Thrones. All right. Luke, say goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Recording stop.